everybody, and welcome back to the sixth component, where the sixth component is you. I'm Kaitlin.
And I'm Laura.
And we're
in the Zoom kitchen. Check it out. I think this is an espresso maker. What is that?
I think that's an espresso maker.
I think
like
so.
Like a latte or something. There's a milk steamer on the side.
I know. I think it's super fancy. I don't even know how to handle that. I think there's a toaster in between us.
There is.
And then favorite cups above. Check it out. Look at we got. This is so much fun. Kaitlin, tell us why we're doing this silliness. Like, what is happening right now?
Oh, man. We want to try some new stuff out because I think Laura's going to give me permission to say this because we've talked about it already. Because we're old and we don't know how to use technology as well as we probably should. So here we are.
And we're learning. And so this was one of the immersion views. So if you're curious to know, like, how we were able to do this. Now you can see I'm in a chair that's brown behind me. For whatever reason, it likes to, like, if I move 1 inch, it's showing the chair, but that's all right. I can have my chair in the kitchen. It's totally fine. But they have like different in Zoom. They have immersion. So if you go up on the top right, if you're looking for this stuff, this is what we learned. Top right, immersion views. And then you get to choose your like flavors. So there's many different flavors, but we thought that this one would be the most appropriate.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Also, if you try to do it on a Chromebook, it's not going to work. So
good point. So because you're on your
my phone,
right, and I'm on my computer. So it works. Like, there's multifaceted ways to do this, and you've probably been on Zoom calls like for work things that you didn't even know that you could immerse yourself in a certain background. So please feel free to do that on your work computers as well, because I think it looks really cool. So this is the kitchen version. We liked it because, of course, we are kitchen queen lunch lady folks. So we love that. So Kaitlin, would you share with our lovely audience and our friends, like, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about, like different new stuff that we need to try, new things. So we were talking about, doing new filming things, which made me really think about like things that I probably need to do new in my life. So now there's that.
So there's that. And as I think our lovely friends can see, that our season 2 is just trying different things. So you did your past conference. I did a conference as well, and we just kind of did it individually. And so you'll see, friends, that like maybe there might be a time or two we have different speakers, we have different technology platforms. So like our season 2 is just trying new things. And one of those new things I think that we have been pretty honest about this whole time is like challenging you all of doing something different and trying new things. And so we thought that it wasn't fair of us to challenge you for an entire season without like challenging ourselves. So today is all about the challenge for Kaitlin, and really talking about Kaitlin and kind of a challenge for her in her personal life. So this is going to get like real and raw a little bit. And I'm going to like let Kaitlin kind of introduce what her challenge is for herself, and yet willing to share with all of you. So
yeah. So if you've noticed my shirt so far today, I have a real serious problem with not getting places on time. It's not my what's the word I'm looking for? It's not my forte.
Yeah, one of your greatest skills.
Yeah, exactly. So in appreciation of this and the challenge that I am putting forward to myself, I wore my favorite shirt, and it says it's zebra butts. I mean, let's be honest. And it says running a little behind. So I saw it at the store and I was like, that is definitely my personality.
And I said, I was like, do you have the first thing when she jumps on? I'm like, do you have butts in your shirt? We're going to record a professional conversation with butts on your shirt.
Yeah, but look, it's so accurate for me. So my challenge.
Dig into that for just a second. I've known you for how long?
Oh, a long time.
Probably like at least over 15 years. Okay. Probably closer to 20. And we started out, just to be clear, at like 5:30 in the morning. Like I would be at work at 5:30, and she would show up at 5:51. I mean, you were behind 20 years ago. You still, but 5:30 in the morning, let's be clear. I mean, like, it's early. So that's like kitchen time, right?
Yeah.
Just saying, like,
I get all my work done. Okay. I'm just not good at being on time, which I really have a hard time with myself, like, to accept that, because, you know, me in a desk job is okay if I show up a few minutes late, but if my staff all comes in 20 minutes late, that's not going to be good for breakfast for anybody. So my challenge for myself going forward, and now I have to be accountable to all of you, so that's wonderful. Actually, it's really wonderful because I need to be accountable to somebody. My challenge is to get to work on time. Yeah, that's my challenge.
I like it. I like that challenge. I also think that you can have multiple challenges, and I think that that one is really, really appropriate, and very appropriate when we're asking everyone else to do it, and you now have to do it. So how are you, okay, specifically, how are you going to, like, quantify that? Like, what does that mean coming back to the sixth component and the friends here? Like, how are we going to know that you're doing it? What does that look like?
I will track my days. So, So this week is spring break. So I'm not going to start this week because we don't really have to be in on time, and we don't, whatever. We have like shortened days, and it's more of a open schedule. There's no staff, there's no kids. It's very laid back and relaxed. So I'm not trying to procrastinate my starting of being on time, but I want to make sure it counts for something. So it'll start the month of April, because that'll be that first Monday, I think is the 3rd. And I will track my days on a calendar, and then at the end of the month, I'll let everybody know how I did.
I absolutely love that. I think this is so appropriate. Just to be clear, let's just make sure. Okay, when we talk quantifying, so like if you have to be somewhere at 8 a.m., it has to be before 8:01. So yes. 7:58, 7:59, and 8 o'clock count as a hash, but 8:01 does not count. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, I love it. Yep. Just make sure. Okay, we're on the same page here.
You want to know what my biggest problem is in the mornings?
No, I totally want to. What is it?
I'm not a morning person. I don't want to get out of bed. I will actively lay in bed and look at my clock and go, I really should have gotten up 5 minutes ago. And then lay there for another 10 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I'm hearing you say, by the way, that is a really great way. I use this with my staff a lot. I'm hearing you say, Kaitlin, totally using that. So I'm hearing you say that it is a choice.
It's a choice. It is.
It's a choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that fair? A fair assessment?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, because I set my alarm for 5:30 to get to work for 7:30.
You set your alarm it takes you 2 hours.
I snooze the alarm about 15 times before I get up.
Do you know?
It doesn't take me 2 hours. It takes me probably like 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, I just have to have that motivation to get myself out of bed. So I think I'm going to challenge myself to 2 different things, because it's very unnecessary for me to set my alarm at 5:30. Like, I could be getting an extra half an hour plus of sleep before I get up. Yeah. So I don't think I can just cold turkey get up on the first alarm, because this has been years of me snoozing it too many times. So my challenge to myself, along with being on time, is to only snooze twice max.
Whoa! So there's 2, and what is your snooze, like 5 minutes? Do you know?
It's like, I don't know. It's on my phone. I think it's 9 minutes. So that's part of the problem, because then I fall completely back asleep. And then it's like re-waking up. And then I'm like, oh, I can just snooze again.
Do you realize there's scientific research that says that it actually, so when you hit the snooze, and so when you hear the alarm, your cortisol goes up, and then you go back to sleep, and then you hear the alarm again, your cortisol goes up. you go back to sleep. You hear, right? So there's actually scientific research that says it's actually bad for your brain, bad for your sleep patterns, and bad for your cortisol because you're allowing every single time, and not to make you feel bad, but like,
no, I've seen it. I've read it. I used to always get up on the first alarm. I think it was having kids and then I was too tired, like when they were newborn.
right. Oh, for sure.
And then the pattern progressed, and I don't have that excuse anymore. My kids are 6 and 8. Like, they're not newborn. They sleep through the night. I shouldn't be doing this anymore. But I think, like 4 to 6 weeks, I think, is what it takes to change your habits, right? So I feel like if I can get through April,
okay,
then I'll be on a good path.
A good trajectory. Okay, so I'm hearing 2 challenges. One is your actual getting to work, because that is totally different than snooze. So 2 different things.
My getting to work revolves around the number of times I hit the snooze. So
yeah, that's totally fair. I actually think that somehow we need to make this in the title zebra butt. I don't know, the title needs to be is zebra face to zebra butt, like turning the face to flipping the flow. Flipping the flow, I'm
gonna have to buy a shirt with zebra faces on it. So now
I think you can Amazon that. I think you'll be fine. But think about this. Like, how does it feel? Okay, so I'm gonna flip this on you a bit. Like, not only does, and you can speak into this, but like, what does it feel like when you are coming to a meeting and you're late and it's either with staff or with your boss? Like, how does it make them feel, number one? And then number 2, how does it make you feel? Like, have you ever had that honest feedback conversation?
Well, so here's what I'll say. I am always late getting to work. Going to meetings and stuff, if they're scheduled at different times throughout the day, I'm usually on time for those. Are, a few instances where something's happening in the kitchen and I can't get to a meeting with my boss or whatever. And that is completely acceptable because my main job is to get the kids fed.
Right.
But if it's, so then I strategically don't schedule any meetings until 8 o'clock because I know that I might be late for the morning. So maybe I need to I'm biting off too much now. So
yeah. Let's come back. I think we need to come back to this in like a month or 2, and then we can add on, because we all know that goals only work when they're attainable. So like, let's keep it attainable. But I know what you were gonna probably say.
I was going to say, if I scheduled my meetings earlier, then I have to be to work at that time.
Exactly.
So, but you're right. I need to do this. I know that not every day is going to be perfect.
Right.
If everybody that watches knows this, but I am divorced. So I share my kids with my ex-husband. And on the days that they're with me, it is much more difficult to get ready in the morning, as all parents can attest to. So I truly have no reason on those days that they're with their dad to be late for work. But I do know that there will be occasions where it happens when they're with me, because one's a diva. She'll only wear what she picks out, and it has to be the right kind of material, and she has to have the right accessories with it. And so it's time consuming.
So that can't be done the night before.
It can be. Yep.
Okay. So I don't mean to push, right?
No.
Push. So that might be part of, like, in 2 months we have that conversation, because I get the kid thing completely. And I have kids every single morning, every single day of my life. So in a wonderful,
it's not an excuse.
But right. I love the
pattern of changed behavior for all of us.
Yeah. And it sounds like your challenge to yourself will affect your children, is what I'm hearing you say. Okay. Yeah. And you're prepared to manage through whatever that looks like, diva or not.
Yes.
And I have 3 boys, so I have no idea. You all know I have 3 boys. So like, I have no idea what that even means, but I can only imagine that it's probably can be challenging at times. So that's great. I love this challenge. Kaitlin, how are you feeling about this? Because it's 2 for 1. It's like a 2 for deal here.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Are you?
But I'm excited because it needs to happen. It's been going on far too long. And then I feel like, it used to be 2 minutes late for work, or 1 minute late for work, or 3 minutes late for work. And then I feel like the more it happens, the easier it is to tack on a few minutes. So, then I can be 10 minutes late for work or 15 minutes late for work. And I don't want to get down that path because I just feel like that sets a bad precedent.
Right.
But then I know how to rationalize it too, because we all do stuff outside of our normal hours. And I feel like I'm putting my time in, in other places, but maybe I won't have to do so much outside of work if I actually get there when I'm supposed to be there.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Listen to you. I feel like we're having this reflective conversation and you're telling yourself,
emotional breakthrough.
This is like a breakthrough. But it's so fascinating to hear you say what you're saying and how you're saying it, and just the reflective conversation, because everyone knows that I'm completely on the total flip side. I'm like, if you're 5 minutes before if it's 7:55, you're already late. Like that is me. I'm like the one, like Michael, my oldest son, come on, because he works at a fast food joint and he had to be there a couple of minutes ago. And I was like, dude, you didn't even come on, let's go. You're going to be late. And I know he has to punch in. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to punch in. And yet your staff has to punch in, Kaitlin. Correct? Am I correct at that?
Well, we don't punch in at our district.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. We do. So we have a 7-minute swing. So they have 7 minutes before and 7 minutes after. So really there's a 14-minute total window. And so that might be part of it, right? Like depending on what you're used to, depending on what other roles and responsibilities you've had in other careers and other jobs may have also influenced some of that too. And I think that there's probably a lot of our friends here online that are able to totally understand where you're coming from. And I think that it is very good to be honest and open. And I give you a lot of props for this, because it takes a lot of courage to share in an area that may feel really maybe difficult to share. And it takes a lot of courage and it takes all the pride out of it. It's just super open and transparent and yet professional, because we, even as professionals that may not have to punch in, still are responsible for a lot of human beings. And we want to role model in a way that is loving and honoring of them and the work that they do too. So I could not be more proud of you for you being willing to wear your zebra butt shirt and to share with all of us how that vulnerability of where you want to work on and what kind of challenge that you want to bring to the table and to the 6th component team. And I think that that's just going to make you better as a person and as a leader. And as a mom who role models doing the right thing for her own children. So way to go. Clap.
Thank you. Let's not pause yet though. The idea's there and I'm thankful for the idea, but let's wait. Let's hold the applause until.
Fair enough. All right. So clap. I will honor your transparency with all of us. So I love this. I love this challenge. Kaitlin, I'm so proud of you. And I hope our viewers are proud of it too. And I think it's just going to be cool to see what our friends think about this challenge specifically to you and what it means to them. And if someone wants to share and be open and honest to us about what you're struggling with specifically in revolving around lateness, if that's fair. I think that that's a true, honest thing that a lot of people struggle with. So thank you for showcasing that vulnerability and being willing to share it with everyone else. So with that being said, Kaitlin, cheers to everyone. Cheers to you. I'm going to bring up my fizzy water and your fizzy water.
Yeah, the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. Different flavor.
Love it. Love it. Well, with that being said, Kaitlin, so proud of you, proud of all of you. Thank you for jumping on to the 6 components today. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.